Hi, gorgeous ones. Welcome again to Shelter in the Storm, the Course in Miracles lesson 96. Okay, we're still doing part 4, the only answer of chapter 6. So we'll just read on from where we got to yesterday. We'll probably finish off this part. Abilities must be developed before you can use them. This is not true of anything that God created, but it is the kindest solution possible for what you made. In an impossible situation, you can develop your abilities to the point where they can get you out of it. You have a guide to how to develop them, but you have no commander except yourself. This leaves you in charge of the kingdom, with both a guide to find it and a means to keep it. You have a model to follow who will strengthen your command and never detract from it in any way. You therefore retain the central place in your imagined enslavement, which in itself demonstrates that you are not enslaved. You are in an impossible situation only because you think it is possible to be in one. You would be in an impossible situation if God showed you your perfection and proved to you that you were wrong. This would demonstrate that the perfect are inadequate to bring themselves to the awareness of their perfection, and thus side with the belief that those who have everything need help and are therefore helpless. This is the kind of reasoning in which the ego engages. God, who knows that his creations are perfect, does not affront them. This would be as impossible as the ego's notion that it has affronted him. That is why the Holy Spirit never commands. To command is to assume inequality, which the Holy Spirit demonstrates does not exist. Fidelity to premises is a law of mind, and everything God created is faithful to his laws. Fidelity to other laws is also possible, however, not because the laws are true, but because you made them. What would be gained if God proved to you that you have thought insanely? Can God lose his own certainty? I have frequently said that what you teach, you are. Would you have God teach you that you have sinned? If he confronted the self you made with the truth he created for you, what could you be but afraid? You would doubt your right mind, which is the only place where you can find the sanity he gave you. God does not teach. To teach is to imply a lack, which God knows is not there. God is not conflicted. Teaching aims at change, but God created only the changeless. The separation was not a loss of perfection, but a failure in communication. A harsh and strident form of communication arose as the ego's voice. It could not shatter the peace of God, but it could shatter yours. God did not blot it out, because to eradicate it would be to attack it. Being questioned, he did not question. He merely gave the answer. His answer is your teacher. So that is the end of section 4 in chapter 6, the lessons of love. we'll move on with the lessons of the Holy Spirit for tomorrow's text reading. But right now we are going on with lesson 96. Can you believe it, guys? We're at lesson 96. Oh. Salvation comes from my one self. Although you are one self, you experience yourself as two, as both good and evil, loving and hating, mind and body. This sense of being split into opposites induces feelings of acute, constant conflict and leads to frantic attempts to reconcile the contradictory aspects of this self-perception. You have sought many such solutions, and none of them has worked. The opposites you see in you will never be compatible, but one exists. The fact that truth and illusion cannot be reconciled, no matter how you try, what means you use and where you see the problem, must be accepted if you would be saved. Until you have accepted this, you will attempt an endless list of goals you cannot reach, a senseless series of expenditures of time and effort, hopefulness and doubt, each one as futile as the one before, and failing as the next one surely will. Problems that have no meaning cannot be resolved within the framework they are set. Two selves in conflict could not be resolved, and good and evil have no meeting place. The self you made can never be yourself, nor can yourself be split in two, and still be what it is and must forever be. A mind and body cannot both exist. Make no attempt to reconcile the two, for one denies the other can be real. If you are physical, your mind is gone from your self-concept, for it has no place in which it could be really part of you. If you are spirit, then the body must be meaningless to your reality. Spirit makes use of mind as means to find its self-expression, and the mind which serves the spirit is at peace and filled with joy. Its power comes from spirit, and it is fulfilling happily its function here. Yet mind can also see itself divorced from spirit, and perceive itself within a body it confuses with itself. Without its function, then, it has no peace, and happiness is alien to its thoughts. Yet mind apart from spirit cannot think. It has denied its source of strength, and sees itself as helpless, limited and weak. Dissociated from its function now, it thinks it is alone and separate, attacked by armies massed against itself and hiding in the body's frail support. Now must it reconcile unlike with like, for that is what it thinks that is for. Waste no more time on this. Who can resolve the senseless conflicts which a dream presents? What could the resolution mean in truth? What purpose could it serve? What is it for? Salvation cannot make illusions real, nor solve a problem that does not exist. Perhaps you hope it can. Yet, would you have God's plan for the release of his dear Son bring pain to him, and fail to set him free? Your self retains its thoughts, and they remain within your mind and in the mind of God. The Holy Spirit holds salvation in your mind and offers it the way to peace. Salvation is a thought you share with God because His voice accepted it for you and answered in your name that it was done. Thus is salvation kept among the thoughts your self holds dear and cherishes for you. We will attempt today to find this thought, whose presence in your mind is guaranteed by Him who speaks to you from your one self. Our hourly 5-minute practicing will be a search for Him within your mind. Salvation comes from this one self through Him who is the bridge between your mind and it. Wait patiently and let Him speak to you about yourself and what your mind can do, restored to it and free to serve its will. Begin with saying this: salvation comes from my one self. Its thoughts are mine to use. Then seek its thoughts and claim them as your own. These are your own real thoughts you have denied, and let your mind go wandering in a world of dreams to find illusions in their place. Here are your thoughts, the only ones you have. Salvation is among them. Find it there. If you succeed, the thoughts that come to you will tell you you are saved, and that your mind has found the function that it sought to lose. Your self will welcome it and give it peace. Restored in strength, it will again flow out from spirit to the Spirit in all things created by the Spirit as itself. Your mind will bless all things. Confusion done. You are restored, for you have found yourself. Your self knows that you cannot fail today. Perhaps your mind remains uncertain yet a little while. Be not dismayed by this. The joy your self experiences, it will save for you, and it will yet be yours in full awareness. Every time you spend 5 minutes of the hour seeking Him who joins your mind and self, you offer Him another treasure to be kept for you. Each time today you tell your frantic mind, salvation comes from your one self. You lay another treasure in your growing store, and all of it is given everyone who asks for it and will accept the gift. Think, then, how much is given unto you to give this day, that it be given you. Another beautiful lesson. Lesson 96. Salvation comes from my one self. You are blessed beings, indeed. I am that one you know as Jesus. Salvation is an idea in the mind of God. You have stepped away from the connection you naturally have with love. This is something very important for you to remember, that you chose separation at some point in the eternal now. It seems to have taken place in the past, but when you think about it, do you still choose separation? Do you still choose to attack now? This is something you all must look at when you think, well, Why would I have chosen not love? Why would I have chosen to come into this difficult and challenging arena? I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home, to love. You can, but you must choose love to go home. Think about the times in your day when you say unloving things about yourself. You attack yourself, or you think a hateful thought about another. Excuse me, I have an itch. Think about the times in your day when you are impatient, judgmental, angry, insecure, or fearful. Every one of those moments blocks your return home. You must honestly assess how dedicated you are to salvation. Many beings say they want to go home. They want to be held in the arms of God once more. But 1,000 times a day, they choose not love themselves or another. They choose not to love themselves or another. Think about that. What choices do you make? Do you choose to follow your heart home to love? Or do you choose to feel separate from others, abandoned and attacked, and then judge this and feel unfairly treated? These are all ideas in your mind that do not love. My purpose here is to remind you of the truth. You are the captain of your ship. You decide how you use your mind every single day. You decide how you use your body every single day. What use do you give your body? Do you use it to pursue salvation? Do you use it to pursue true love? Not the romantic love of your world, but rather true love, self-acceptance, acceptance of your brothers and sisters, self-expression, and the appreciation of your talents, ideas, and passions. I am that one you know as Jesus. We will speak to you again tomorrow. Namaste, blessed beings.